1 cup of warm milk, and I'm going to add a 1/4 cup of sugar and 2½ teaspoons of yeast. And then I'm going to whisk it and just leave it to set aside for 5 minutes. In this bowl I have 1 cup of millet flour, 3/4 of a cup of rice flour, 1/2 a cup of potato starch, and 1/3 of a cup of tapioca flour. Now I'm going to add 1½ teaspoons of xanthan gum. This is a stabilizer that is going to help the bread stay together and not be too crumbly. And I'm going to add 1¼ teaspoons of sea salt. There's the 1/4, and there's 1. I'm going to whisk that together in my mixing bowl. And then after the yeast has set for about 5 minutes, I'm going to add that to this. My yeast has sat for about 5 minutes. It's foamy, it's alive. I'm going to put it into my dry ingredients. Scrape it, make sure you get every little bit. I'm going to put it on the mixer, and I'm going to mix it on low, but I want to spray just until it's combined. Turn it off. Good scrape. Now I'm going to add a 1/4 cup of canola oil, two eggs, and mix again. This time I'm going to mix on low until it's combined, and then as it comes together I'm going to increase the speed. You want to whip it until it's smooth. Okay, that looks good. So now you're just going to get every little bit in the bowl. Give it a good scrape down. So it's all kind of bunched at the bottom of the bowl. I think I can get more off of this. Sticky because of the xanthan gum. Okay. Then you're going to cover it with plastic wrap and set it in a warm place for 1 hour. So the dough has risen for 1 hour. You can see how much it's grown. Now I'm going to take my spoon or rubber scraper and give it a stir. You can see how it deflates. And I have a greased loaf pan. All you're going to do is plop the dough into the greased loaf pan. All of it out. Okay. Once it's in the loaf pan, you're just going to kind of even it out. Try to get it as smooth as possible. It's sticky, so it's not going to be perfect, but you just want to get it as level as possible. And now, this is the time, if you want to put sunflower seeds on top, this is the time to do that. I like the sunflower seeds, so I'm going to add 2 tablespoons of sunflower seeds to the top of the dough. Sprinkle them on. And you can take your scraper and kind of press them in. If you don't do this, they sometimes fall off after baking, so you want them to kind of get stuck in the dough. All right, then you're gonna cover it loosely with greased plastic wrap, and you're just gonna let it rise, set in a warm place to rise for 20 to 30 minutes or until the dough has risen to the level of the pan. So this has been rising for about 25 minutes, and as you can see, the dough is a little bit above the pan, and so it's ready to go into the oven. I'm going to bake it for 45 minutes until it's golden brown at 350 degrees. So it's baked for 45 minutes. It's golden brown, and so now you just have to invert it. And let it cool before slicing. So after the bread's cooled for a bit, it's ready to slice. And this bread slices really nicely and is really great for sandwiches. Joe, would you like a piece?